What's up, guys? We back. I'm your host, Chris Johnson, on our podcast, Just Win. And you guys know we're all about unlocking the mental power and building your mental fitness. My guest today is special. Not only being an NBA vet of 11 years, but being a mental mindset coach, being a man that has poured into the community, to the youth, always giving back. Every time I call Cat, he's showing up. For all of the NBA guys that are having this success, Cat's showing up and giving detail, advice. He's sharing his perspective. He's sharing his journey. And so we happy today, Cat, to have you on our show where we focus on developing everyday people.
I love it. I love
sharing stories.
Yeah, it's a lifelong journey.
It's a lifelong journey.
Yeah, it's a lifelong journey. I call it the beautiful struggle.
But see, when people ask me, say, well, why would you call Just Win about adversity? Why? I say, well, win to me is what is important now.
Yeah.
So trying to refocus the brain to be able to focus on winning that moment, winning that day. Doesn't mean that you don't have adversity. You got to pivot. You got to work through things, and that's what really inspires me every day, to see if I could touch one person, and I can give them a great message.
You've always been positive as an individual ever since I've known you for so many years. And listen, what I help a lot of men, being a life coach, and even women too, but is to try to get out of your head. And I know when you cheering everybody else up, you might be beaten up inside.
Yes.
But you don't let them know that, right?
Right.
So I think the normalcy of understanding that I suffer too, but yet I can fight through it. Just win, right? Just win that minute, win that hour. Win that day.
Yep.
I think that's a great little motto.
It's for me. I think you said it properly. Every day you get up, you got to make a choice. And so if I'm dealing with an issue, a problem, or something's there, like a roadblock, I don't let that deter me. I'm looking at the pivot. I'm already forecasting how to go around it, go over it. Or if I got to go through it, I got to go through it.
Right.
But I'm already thinking ahead of time that today is my day.
There you go.
And I thought the worst thing that can happen to me is death.
Yeah.
Right? Or dealing with someone else's death. And like, I lost my father.
No, sorry.
And no, it's okay. And that's why I was telling people, I was like, we all know it's gonna happen. But I think that's probably the worst thing that can happen. Because you don't come back from it, right? And when I really built my mental resilience, it was dealing with what was the worst thing that can happen. And from that point, nothing else can shake me. Nothing. And that's how I started getting, because most people was like, bro, I've never seen you have a bad day. I was like, I don't have bad days.
Right.
I choose my days. And I choose my fights. And so that's why mental fitness, I kind of changed the word over the years of like mental fitness, because we see the physical body. We see when somebody is getting stronger, you can see the body change, but you can't see the mind. And the mind is a muscle. A mind, to me, requires the same amount of work that we put in physically to look good. You got to do the same amount of work mentally to be able to see the world different. Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. And once we really understand those things, you have a family. And my stepfather actually passed away, who was my oracle. I have 4 parents, blessed to have 2 fathers. And
me too, by the way.
And my dad to this day loved the hell out of me, right? And my stepfather was like my biggest cheerleader, right? And they showed me more emotion of love, physically hugging and kissing, than my mom and my stepmom. But my stepmom loved the hell out of me too. So I didn't come from survival, right? I came from love. So journaling through life, you find a lot of people who see, I always say, you can attract a shark in the ocean quicker when you're cut, right? So a shark, kind of attracts to the blood. And that's how when you go out there, wanting to be kumbaya in the world, young in the NBA or whatever it is, you see people subconsciously, not consciously, take advantage of you.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know who you are and they don't know who they are. It's just a way of life. So love meets survival, and then sometimes survival beats the love. And then you become callous or, evil or whatever the case is.
Right.
But I kind of stayed to myself and knew exactly what I was taught at a young age. And started working on my boundaries more, so it helped me become a better individual.
When you talk about love, and it's funny because, I have this theory that you can come from love, having two fathers, two mothers, and still have the mental toughness of someone that didn't. And so for me, it's a lot of people perspective. They try to put on people kids that don't come from the streets. They say like when you see a basketball player, they be like, "Oh, I want this kid from this hood in Philly because they tough there, they fight there."
Right.
But you can come from love and be tough.
Yeah,
and you're known in the NBA on the court for toughness, for confidence.
Right.
Is that where it come from, or where did it come from?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the men in your life, and that's what I was explaining before we started filming. The men in your life are super important. My mother, my stepmother. My stepmother was kind of the most gentle being I've ever met. Right, soft voice, just sweet as hell. Right, I'm not saying she didn't have her side where she pop a person, but me, she always loved me to death. My mom was super tough. And to this day, my mom's one of my best friends. But I think that came from my father and my stepfather, where they gave me so much love and let me be a boy, but also to help me grow as a man, that I regulated my emotions early on. And it wasn't no excuse, right? It was like, just win. Like, I don't care how you feel, right? How you feel don't matter.
It does not matter.
Right? We got the date this Monday. Guess what? No matter how you feel, tomorrow's coming.
Right.
So you got to get ready. So it was kind of like that, where it was hard love, but yet not hard in a way where they were like, beating you down, but just to the point where it's, I think some of it's in us, right? It's just in us to be wired. Like, I admire LeBron so much, James, because not having a father and then having a young mother. I had a young mother, 18 years old, and then blessed to, she picked my stepfather, and then my dad was an amazing person, and my stepmom. But I think the more repetition kills doubt.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think the more you repeat those things that are positive, even when it's negative, you're gonna you stay out of your head. Right, idle time is the devil's playground. So the more, if I'm unprepared, the more I will create the monster in the room when the lights are off. Right, that's the metaphor of life.
It's the truth, though. It's the truth. And when you talk about, having a mom that had you early, and my mom had me early. My dad was in college and playing basketball, and she was finishing high school. Right, and so when I look back, I'm like, it's all about the love and the mindset. And for some reason, when I was younger, I just started developing this mindset that I could do.
It's crazy.
Anything. And it was like, my mom been married to my stepfather, and that's my dad. Shout out to Dad. I'm 46, 44 years.
See, I love that, man. And you know what I'm saying? You said, like, shout out to Dad. Like, your stepfather treated you like he was yours.
When
like
my dad passed, he's helping me through that.
Man, I shout out to all the step pops that's out there and the step moms. I was blessed to have them, and they get the short end of the stick all the time.
He was needed. He taught me how to ride a bike. When my dad was playing ball, he was that guy. And when I go and would go see my father, him and my father had a good relationship.
Yep, mine too.
And all the way through, I've never seen him.
Me neither.
Me and him talk to this day. And when my father passed, he's like coaching me through it. Like, You need to do this. You need to do that.
Yeah.
Make sure you get the photos so your kids can see this. You know, real men.
Right.
And he's been a part of my life. So I was blessed to have two fathers. I had a stepfather and I had a biological father, and both of them played a very, very vital role in my life.
And I think, you know, also too is having those fathers, you know, and then having your mothers or whatever it is, like you and I both had, a lot of stuff is in you.
It is.
Like, again, I'm going back to LeBron. Like, he's the GOAT to me because he's just like, you have to go through so much in life to be great at one thing. You know what I'm saying? And like, to keep going and doing that, like, you don't come from a dad. Like, you raise yourself, right? Like, I don't care what happens in life. The way since I've known you and I've known about you, the way you carry yourself is just phenomenal. It's just a phenomenal thing to me because I understand the mental toughness. I understand the discipline. I understand the human inside of us, right? I understand the circumstances. I understand all those things where it's family, friends, girls, guys, all these different people, right? Whether they love you or don't love you or you change in this, I understand all that. And you still wake up and dominate life. Not just basketball, but life.
Life.
Like, you're dominating life.
You dominate life. Basketball is a vehicle. It's a vehicle that teaches us how to play the game of life.
Yeah.
It gives you the tools because in a game of basketball, you can take 1 minute. And in that minute, you can experience all types of emotions. And this is why I think emotional intelligence is so important, where you can develop an EQ versus your IQ. And in a basketball game, you could be up, you could be down, you can miss a shot, you can dunk on somebody, they can hit a three, and they can call timeout. The other bench is cheering while you're walking to the bench and you come out of a timeout and you hit the game winner. Like, that's a lot of it's a lot of emotion.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of emotional regulation, which we don't have, especially minorities in our neighborhoods that we grew up in. You don't know how to emotionally regulate, right? So you create these other different worlds.
That's crazy. My first dissertation that I wrote when I was getting my master's degree in counseling. Most people don't know. I was a graduate assistant after I was through playing in college. I became a graduate assistant. Ruptured my Achilles, so I had to go into coaching.
Right.
And being a graduate assistant, my first project, getting my master's, was my dissertation part was writing about emotional intelligence of minority student athletes.
Yeah, it's tough.
That was 24 years ago.
I have a theory. So my major was psychology and communications, and I usually actually use that more in practice now in being a life coach than anything. But I have a theory of this is called the Tarzan theory. So anybody can. It's Tarzan was dropped off in the jungle as a baby, and what did he start acting like?
Animals of his surroundings,
right? The apes and the gorillas.
Yeah,
and no matter if he was human or not, he still was. His environment was like that. So a lot of minority kids, whether their fathers were in jail, on drugs, out the house, doing something else, right? You're surrounded around women, estrogen, emotion, right? The emotions is irregular, right? Whether it's once a month or whether it's finances, whether it's too many kids, whether it's this man don't love me. Did your father love you, sweetheart? That's why you don't. You see all these things that's coming around? That's the jungle. So then now that little boy is raised by all these females, grandmom, auntie, wife, lady, girl, whoever it is that's around. And what does he start acting like? He acts like the little girl inside him. See, Carl Jung, the psychologist, back in the mid-1800s, spoke about the anima and the animus.
Okay.
And the anima and the animus in women is the little boy. The anima in men is the little girl. So you have to learn how to regulate the feminine side, and the women have to learn to regulate the masculine side of them. And when we're at a very young age, if we can't tap into that and understand that we have that side in us, and how do I regulate that side, we will be disruptive throughout life because we're fighting, right? So it's a pain inside us that we don't know how to express.
Right.
It's like that little kid. It's like use your words kind of thing. That's what we're doing now when you're teenagers. And because no one taught me how to do that. No one taught me to sit, breathe, relax. No one taught me. Now you run this 17, it's going to hurt a lot. And you're going to get over it. You see, after an hour, you feel good now, right? You feel accomplished? Okay, cool. Tomorrow we're going to run more. Like, it's just those things. Then you start building anxiety because you know tomorrow's coming because of that pain. And then after a while, you feel better because it's consistency of conquering that little girl or that little boy inside me and understanding that they are there to help me, right? Because both of them have a positive and negative effect on the individual on the outside.
Fathers are needed.
Oh, big time. Big time. Big fathers.
I love being a father too, by the way.
Oh, man, it's the best thing in the world, man. It's the best thing in the world, man. Whether it's your son or whoever it is, when they with me, they my kids now, and I got your back. That's how we should be as men.
As men.
Yes.
And I think, and when I see you with your son, I know we was talking about off camera, like, our kids don't have options.
No.
There's no options.
No, man.
No, you give them the blueprint, and you show them how to execute the blueprint. And there has to be a plan in place.
Yeah, facts.
Like, you can't be all over the place.
Facts.
You have to have a plan.
Facts. And
you stick to the plan. And regardless of wins and losses, setbacks, you stick to the plan.
Everybody in life needs structure. I mean, you have these moms out here that on these different podcasts about, their kids need a voice and this, that, whatever. Okay, well, guess what? Let them do whatever they want inside the house then. Let them be junky. You clean their stuff. You cook for them. You wash the dishes. You come in their room and clean their room. Their door's closed. You got to knock every single time. Go ahead. Do that. Create that. That doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No, that
If you go to a
work.
single-parent household male, single-parent household woman, and then man and female, the single parent household with the man and both parents in the household is just equivalent to they're the same. Compared to it's just a woman, right? And it's not a knock on women, but you need that balance. That something about the man, where in life, police, government, everything, the structure of life. I can't just let you run amok.
No.
Just doesn't work like that.
It does
when you get
not
out,
work.
cool.
Not even then.
Yeah, no. By that time, you already programmed.
Yeah, you got the program.
You already programmed by that time.
Yeah.
That's why if that's the case, then everybody would steal, everybody would molest people, everybody would kill, everybody would run lights, everybody would do everything. But you can't, right? Because it's a law.
Right, it's a law.
There's a certain law. We got to live by a certain human law. It's just how life works.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm a true believer in that, and I just like the impact of men. And what I've done for my son is I take guys like yourself, men like yourself, and I build him a village of men. Mm-hmm. So not just me.
That's
I
very
want
important.
him to know how you think. Mm-hmm. And I want him to be able to decipher information and figure out what's good for him and then what things he can put for later. Mm-hmm. It may not be that important for him right now. Right. And so what I'm looking at, when I look at my son, I'm looking at how I've surrounded him.
Yeah.
With a
super
group,
important.
With a group. He don't even have to talk to me about advice.
Right.
Because he's surrounded everywhere he look. It's a man that's like, come here.
Yeah.
Come here.
Especially you go, that's not going to work.
That ain't
that's not. You're popping here, but that's not working, right? All right. Switch it up.
Let's
go.
Let's go.
Right? Like, you're like, damn, I can't get away. No, you can't get away.
You can't go.
I'm going to get you, he going to get you, or the universe going to get you. Either way, it's better that we get you quickly, because if the universe gets you, it's going to drag you out. And you're going to think that you've done something good. But sooner or later, something going to smack you in your face. And you're like, why did that happen? Oh, you thought you was getting away with it?
Right.
No, the universe keeps score.
So, from Rhode Island to the NBA, how did you prepare mentally to be on this platform coming from a small school?
Yeah.
With the egos and that that shark seeing you
Mm-hmm.
with just a little blood.
Yeah, so I think before I came on Earth, I think I think we've been here before. So now when I came this time, I said, all right, I'm not gonna mess this one up. I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z. And then when I got here, I was dropped off in Philadelphia. I had a 6'5" father. I became that. I had a mother who was a athlete, and it both came together. Then, I was raised around Kobe Bryant and Rasheed Wallace and Alvin Williams and Eddie Jones and Aaron McKee and Rick Brunson, and it's all pros.
All pros.
And I don't know they pros. We don't know we pros. So I think it could have went the other way. It could have went the way where my father didn't graduate from high school. My mother was 18 years old, right? So there's the opposite side.
It's the opposite side.
Right? Where my father wasn't a good reader, right? And my stepfather could have been a mean person. And my stepmom could have been a mean person. And my mom at 18 could have just left me with my grandma. And it could have been that side, but it wasn't that side.
It wasn't.
And when you really can focus, whether good or bad, that the gratitude of you just living and figuring it out is a gift in itself. Malcolm Gladwell has a book called Outliers, and he speaks about not only the environment, which you said you surround your son around, the 10,000 hour theory of all those people that are around you to make you a pro. That to me, it was there was no other choice. That if I'm going to do this right here, I got to do boom, boom, boom. I got these steps I have to do to get to there. So it taught me how to be tougher. Kobe's younger than me, taught me how to be mentally tougher. Right? Rasheed taught me how to be mentally tougher. Alvin Williams taught me how to be mentally tougher. So our Friday nights and our Saturday nights at 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, we're getting shots up when everybody else is out at 18, 19, 20 years old. We're not going out.
Right.
But for what? Go out for what? Right. Some guy said, one of these coaches, I forget what it was, and I posted it on my story. He's like, I would want him to stay. I forget what basketball coach he was, but he was talking about Cooper Flag. He's like, if I was him, I would stay and, do this, that, whatever, and then, just chase girls around. I'm like, that's the worst advice you can give someone.
No, we can't do that.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the worst advice you can give someone. You work on you. Just like I would tell that girl, work on you.
Why work on me?
Right. There you go.
Because we're young.
Yeah, come on.
And it's critical that you focus on
especially if you have an opportunity.
Bro, even if you don't.
What are we doing?
Yeah, my theory is you versus you.
You versus you.
You focus, so you were able to focus on you in that transition. Because there's a lot of players out there, Kat, that's going to watch us, and they're going from a small school into this process of the NBA. And when you say be selfish, because I believe in being selfish.
Be selfish.
Being selfish is taking care of you first.
Right. You be selfish and to the point where you get selfless. So that's the ego. The ego is selfish. Right. And the purpose is selfless. And then once you accomplish that, you switch it. D. Wade is doing that. D. Wade's done that. LeBron has done that. You have done that. We have done that to where I need the ego and the selfishness to block everything else out so I can get to here. Once I get to here, now I have a purpose to now help others, because people don't listen, they watch what you do. So, okay, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going to show you what I do. Wow, when you look at a move one of us made, you're not listening to the move, you're watching the move. You watch things.
How important is building the proper routine?
It's super important, and you can't get it all in one day, right? I teach small habits, right?
Okay, let's talk about that.
Form shooting. My son, I don't know how good he's going to get. He's pretty good right now in a short period of time because we do small stuff, right? We go in, he stretches, we do ball handling drills, and then no matter what, we do at least 200 form shooting. And now he's 3 years into touching the basketball, and he's super efficient. Right? So is it because of that? I think it is because it helped me. It helped Kobe. It helped Rasheed. It helped Al. It helped all of us when we were younger.
And building
so I'm
habits.
just building habits.
You're building habits.
Building habits, right? So now you're not going to... Dr. Jordan Peterson, sometimes people don't like him or whatever it is, but some things he say extremely well. And one of the things that I understand in life is to be able to clean your room. right? So, and building that habits and cleaning your room, that means I don't just go in the gym with no plan. That's like going to the supermarket hungry but no list. I want to go in the supermarket full what they list, so I know that I'm not just buying anything. That's not how life works.
That's not how it works.
I need structure. Okay, I got to do this. When them guys come in, you have them doing exactly this.
I have a structure.
Keep them sharp.
I have a system.
Right? It's not, what are we doing right now?
No.
Okay, next 20 minutes, what are we doing? Okay, you know what's going to happen? Yeah, you can be creative as an artist like that. When you're painting.
When you're painting.
You know what I'm saying?
But when you're building a future, you got to have structure.
It don't work like that.
Some of the younger guys, as I'm watching, I've been doing this a long time, consistency and routine will tell me who you will become.
Mm-hmm.
And routine is boring. It's not for...
You fall in love with boring. You have to.
There you go.
You have to fall in love with boring. I'll tell people that all the time. You have to. If it's not boring after a while. My son right now, if he had a game, you watch what he does. He's doing his dribbling. He's doing his form shooting. He actually get annoyed with everybody else shooting while he's trying to do form shooting. You ever get like that, right? You get like that at that point. And it's like, okay, all right, I see that he's locked in. I see that he's got a little bit of asshole in him because he don't want this, that, whatever. And I was like that earlier. Kobe was like that. A lot of us are like that, where we're very, 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 very sharp and very, very disciplined in our craft.
Right.
Right. And you have to be that about your craft, like a doctor, like a lawyer, right? Like this is something that I do. This is my craft, and I take this super serious.
I love that because the analogy of a doctor, I gave this analogy on a podcast like a couple of weeks ago. We were talking to a doctor, and I was telling him, like, I feel like I'm a surgeon.
Mm-hmm. You are.
I'm a technical surgeon, and I'm looking at court mapping. I'm looking at the dynamic of the body. I can see when you walk in the door, your mindset. I could see if you had some issues
What's
last night.
What's your illness? Oh, it's your elbow out. Oh, it's your jump shot. Yeah. Oh, it's your dribbling on the left side. Okay, this, that, whatever. You 20% on this side. You 30%. That, yeah, I see everything that you see.
I see everything.
Yeah.
And then, you and your girl.
Yeah.
You had a problem yesterday?
That's a big problem.
Like,
that's a
you
big
check
problem.
it at the door.
Yes.
And so I'm watching that, and I watch coaching, and coaching kind of miss the human side of it. There's a human side of being someone's coach or teacher.
Right.
And the human side is connecting and making sure that they're present.
It has a father-like presence.
And that's something that's more important to me than what I even have to teach you today.
Right.
I have to connect, and I can see, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
What you talking about?
Yeah.
Bro, let's step in the office real quick.
Yeah.
How you know?
Yeah.
I said, bro, listen.
It's all over you.
It's all over you.
It's all over
What's going on? Man, look.
Yeah.
Last night, somebody broke in my car.
Yeah.
I don't care about the car.
Yeah.
But it made me have to get up and have to get the kids over here and do this. And then I got to come in and focus on my job. By the time we have a 15, 20-minute conversation, we looking at each other. And he's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And I think that's an importance of being a mentor. That's what being a mentor and being a coach and a teacher is like, is identifying when someone body language is off, when you can identify with their kind of like, you going through something. And if you can reach them where they at, you can help pull them up quicker. And I think sometimes that element is missing in our sports world of just being human, of just like, dang, maybe he's on his way to a bad day, but you can help him turn it around. Like in a game, right? You've had some shooting slumps, but we talked about like how people deal with shooting slumps.
But
some people can deal with it as the course of the game is going. Some people can correct it in between quarters. Some people can correct it at halftime. Some people, they can't correct it until after the game, to the next game. What kind of player are you?
You know, this is to all that young people, even older people that are listening out there, athletes or whatever. The ego is the trickster. And when I say that, basketball is not just making a shot. And then you have to understand. There's a book. I always quote different books. Mind of the Soul, chapter 5 is called Intentions. And you're so hell bent on making the shot. There's guys on your team that can't make shots, but they're in the game. So think about that, right? Can you rebound? Can you play D?
Yeah.
Can you advance the ball? Right? Can you cause havoc? Can you do different things in the game? Because the game is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Much to do. And sooner or later, it may not be that game or the next game, but the laws of working hard evens out. It's never 100. It's never 100%.
Never.
So if I have 2 games where I shoot bad, I may have 3 where I shoot well. Right? So it's going to even out. I'm okay. It's going to balance itself out. And then understanding that, you got to say that I put the work in. Because the only time you is going to doubt yourself is because you didn't put the work in. That's what I think.
No, it's a fact, though. It's proven.
It's like now I'm going to start thinking about that. Earlier today, but early in the podcast, I was saying out of time is devil's playground. So if I don't get shots up, I'm going to get 100 up tomorrow. I'm going to get 200 up tomorrow. But then tomorrow come and something else happen and you don't get those up. And then the game come on the Friday and now you want to rush Thursday night. No, that's not how this one works.
That's not how this works.
So you may have a really good game, but you may have a really shitty game. That's how it might work.
And see, for me, that goes back to that daily habit, that daily routine, someone giving you the map, the blueprint, the GPS. And so when you look at young people, I'm like, I was talking to one of my guys, he's playing now college ball. I think he's potentially going to be in the draft. And we were talking about the 90%. And he was like, Unc, what are you talking about? I said, I got a 90-10 rule.
Right.
You're going to play 90% of the game without the basketball.
Right.
90% of basketball is played without it. 10% is played with it. In the 10%, you're going to play 4 seconds or less without in your attack. So when I'm training and I'm teaching and I'm developing players, I teach them 4 seconds or less. Anything more than that, now they become ineffective. Now they're thinking that they don't fit in any system. Because players should be able to play for any coach.
Facts.
And so that 90-10 rule allows you to see that there's so much that can be done in the game, from being a screener to being a rebounder to getting in the passing lane to boxing out, double down on a big guy that's whooping the other big guy. You know, it's the game has so many.
That's why I love LeBron.
Yeah,
you see how he adjusted?
Yeah, he's next level.
Luka gets the ball, he's gone.
He's out of there.
He's gone.
You can't stop.
You can forget about it. He knows how to play.
Yes.
Right?
He is the best.
Oh.
He is the best cutter. 45 without the ball in the world.
Incredible. I've never seen nobody as good as that. I'm telling you, I don't know anybody that I've ever played with or that somebody that's so dominant that does it, right? Yeah, okay, certain cats do that they can't do nothing else, so they do that. But somebody that's so, you can put him on the ball, off the ball, you can put him in the post, you can put him in the top, you can put him anywhere. He can play with anybody, and then still, Luka still had a triple-double, and LeBron still do his thing.
That's a skill.
Man.
And that's a skill that has to be either in you or it can be taught to you if you have the mental mindset.
You know what's weird? Let me tell you what's weird. Society didn't like Kobe when Kobe was playing because Kobe was, to a lot of people, you know, rough on teammates. He wasn't friendly, blah, blah, and all that stuff. And then they started to ease up on Kobe, right? Later on in his career. All of us loved the hell out of him. But a lot of people just didn't like, whether he did certain things here and did this, that, whatever, blah, blah. All of us love him. Bron is the same thing. It's like, if you had to do the Mamba mentality, how many people actually could follow through with that? Same thing with Bron. He makes everybody better. He's always happy. It's always cool, but you don't like that. but you didn't like what Kobe was doing. So which one you want?
So what you doing? What we doing?
Which one do you want? Because one of them like Magic and the other one's like Jordan. Like, which one do you want? You don't want to be nice, but you didn't like the one that wasn't nice. Then you don't want to.
So this cat, when you say this is important because I love helping the youth.
Yeah.
And the guys in high school and college. Be you.
Duh.
Be who you are.
Yeah.
And don't change.
No.
And when I say that, bad habits of not being coachable is not what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about understanding who you are and sticking to the script.
Yeah.
And that's what you see in great players. Whether they are a player that go right at your neck or they're a player that understand chess.
So for me, okay, say if I was playing with Dwayne, like I wanted to play with Bron back in 07. Oh, no, 05, 06, 05. I wanted to play with Bron because I knew how he can pass, and I can get 25 on in my sleep with Bron. If I was with Bron, if I was with him, I can still score 20 a game because I know how to play.
You know how to play basketball.
I know how to play. As soon as you get that ball, I'm gone. If you penetrating in his half-court set, spot up. If they close down on me, one dribble pull up. Get to the basket. Find them when they streaking in the middle or guy in the corner. I just know how to play the game.
Right.
So the game, it's not like, I need the ball. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
What's the matter with you? Play the game.
That's why.
What is their strengths? This is their strengths. So now you should be a basketball player. I'm a basketball player. I know how to play. I don't care who's on my team.
You know, that's what we're talking about. Like when you look at coaching starts like that is you look at the community that you were around and knowing how to play and having a skill set is two different things. And so people literally talk about their skill set and I can't get this off. When I just was talking about that, what about the delay cut out the corner? What about when a guy turns his back, you've already on the backside and boom, he got the dime and you're moving. Those things are instilled in players. So
Austin Reeves?
Yes. Just being able to move without the basketball. That is something that nobody want to practice. We practice. If you come to work with me, we're working on delay cuts. I picked Dwayne brain enough. We're working on the 45. LeBron is the best 45-degree cutter the game have ever seen. If you guys don't know what the 45, that's right in the slot. If the ball is gone, he's moving. He's moving at 100 miles per hour.
The best.
And Steph
I did it with Moochie Norris.
That's crazy.
When me and Steve and Moochie was on the team, I was playing at the 3. Moochie was the 1. I would be on the opposite side of Moochie. When Moochie start mixing up on the left side, I would see that gap. And as soon as Moochie get in there and I see that they're trying to stop him, I'm slicing right down that slot. I'm getting the layup. I'm either dunking it, laying it in. I'm doing all that. I'm getting a foul. That's because I'm watching the game.
You're watching the game.
I'm not standing there.
Right.
It's just crazy.
It's crazy. So that is so do you think now people thought you had a heart condition?
Oh, yeah.
And I know with this misdiagnosis or the diagnosis, when it was a misdiagnosis for you, it took away from your opportunity of scoring more points, playing more years in the NBA. How did you overcome this? Because that's got to be mentally taxing on you to figure out that you didn't have a heart condition.
Yeah, so at first I played victim, right? I was pissed off at the world about that for just a few months. It wasn't even a long period of time. But again, that mental toughness kicked back in. But at that time, I had an anxiety attack when I came back to LA. I was actually on Rodeo Drive in Ralph Lauren. And I was in the fitting room, and my hands started to get kind of wet, and my heart started to beat, and I was sitting like, wow, I can't play basketball no more. And this was like maybe a week or two after I came back, where they told me I can go home because I didn't want to be in New York when they told me I couldn't play.
Right.
And I wanted to come back home and kind of decompress or whatever it was, and I had an anxiety attack. And then I thought about it, and I said, you know what? He didn't bring me this far to do this. Something going on. So, I of course, getting different tests in Minnesota and all these other places, Cleveland, blah, blah. And I come to find out that it was a misdiagnosis. But this is now, you got to think about it, this is a year and something later. And I'm 32 at the time, so that's kind of considered a little older.
Right.
And you should just chill out anyway. You're kids, and it was all that pumping. And my last game ever was against OKC, Kevin Durant, and I'm at 27. So I was just about to, get my little groove or whatever, because my body was already a body that, I never got injured.
You still hoop today?
Yeah. I never got injured. I always kept my body in tip-top shape. So, it beat me up for a little bit. I went to therapy.
Right.
I spoke to my college. She was my psychology teacher, and I used to speak to her a lot. At the time, I didn't know how to deal with it because my identity was, kind of like,
it's in your character.
Right.
In that character.
And as much as I had so much more to give, I wasn't ready to give it just yet.
Right.
I'm talking about as far as life. And, having my son already at the time, I was 9 years old, and I think what helped me ease my way into retirement was my son is 15 now. Miles was being born. So it kind of helped me, like, okay, maybe you just chill out and do something else. Just relax, right? Because I love business. I love people. I love, I love life coaching the most. And that's just in the past 4 or 5 years I've kind of really stuck to that. But it was a tough moment for me because the tough guy mentally that I am, I didn't know how to grieve. Right, and
so you feel like it was a grieving period between being forced to retire from a game that you wasn't done with.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes you don't know how to grieve, right? So you do certain things. You trauma bond. Not a drinker or drugs, but some people drink. They do drugs. They meet new women. They meet new men. I don't know what you do, but we have to be very careful of the little person inside of us, right? And if that person is not protected, the things that happen to us in life, some of us can't come back from. Right? I was blessed to have I have amazing children, amazing kids. I have 2 older ones, and but then my younger ones also, and my daughter, she's 11, who keeps the life in the house. But it's definitely something you have to practice, right? And you got to put your big boy pants on, and that's really reflected.
I think when you said it, it made me think about guys that get an earlier exit out of the NBA and they have to go overseas. It's a mental adjustment in there that nobody really sees.
Yeah.
And whoever can overcome and fight and be able to speak to that inner person, they're able to continue a very successful basketball career.
Stephon Marbury.
Recreated himself.
Yes.
And became a legend. International.
No judgment.
No judgment.
Yeah, he go over there, there's no judgment. He can be actually the happy-go-lucky. He's from New York, right? He has a whole bunch of brothers, and you got to be tough and this, that, whatever. And Steph was always an emotional person in a good way. Right? So being able to go to China and then them loving you how they love you, and you can be your authentic self, your original self, instead of putting on perception. I think a lot of us are like this, right? Being from Houston or being from Philly or being from wherever you're from, you get stuck in this I would call like a method acting,
right?
Where you have to be this type of person and this type of whatever. What if I'm not that? What if I'm just a gentle giant? What if I don't want problems? What if I
Right.
just like to laugh all the time? What if I just like to chill? But you don't even know that yourself because your environment that you grew up around has actually directed you in this movie that you're in to be this character.
To be this character.
Right. But you want to be something else.
That's so when people are going through this transition, let's look at it from a life perspective. Real life. Only, I think, 10% of athletes in high school are going to play in college. It's a very small number. There are some very good high school players that get the transition early.
Yeah.
And the transition into being just a student or working or going into, entrepreneurship. When I watch people in different stages of their life, they all have to go through this transition. At some point, athletes are just public. Big athletes that play in the NBA is public. When people choose their pivot, like I like what Pat Bev did, right? Pat Bev chose his own pivot before you can pivot for him. And it's like, oh, he's strong. Like his mental adjustment is like there. And a lot of times we don't forecast what the adjustment is. Like being able to adjust from being a star player to the second guy to a role player and then being a star in the role. Because you go through each one of those phases.
Right.
And that's how you see people that play the game real long. Like shout out to my brother Chris Paul. Chris didn't play so many roles, but you know what never changed for Chris? His competitive nature.
Yeah, his leadership.
His leadership. His ability to walk into a group and say, this how we're going to do it.
Right.
This what we're going to do.
Exactly.
Him holding you accountable.
Yes.
I'm watching him and I'm talking to him. And, he's talking to me about, bro, I want to play 82 games. What? He's like, nah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Right.
Have you played 82 games before?
I don't know. I averaged 70-something games in 11 years. 70-something games, 40 minutes. 11 years. So I was pulling the minutes.
I got to go check and see if you were close.
Yeah.
82 games is...
It's a lot. That's a lot. Every day.
Show up. Show up for practice.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Show up and lead. Show up and use your voice.
Oh, man. And that's what I'm saying, right? Because my first 6 years, I'm averaging 20, right, in my sleep. Me and Steve averaging 20 in our sleep. That's just what it was. And you have to do that every time. You can't get 10. You can't get 12. You can't get it. It's just, everybody else can do that. You can't do that.
Right.
So you at another level. Like, this is levels. Then Brian and Wade and me at another level. It's like, you got to do this. Like, it's just you know what I'm saying? Like, I had Steve with me. So I'm getting 22, you getting 22 a season.
Gotta get it.
Right? Like, I think for Brian and D, when D Wade was the guy, who was second in scoring?
On which team?
Miami.
When Bron was there,
Before
when Shaq,
Bron got there.
it was probably Shaq, because it was Shaq.
And what was he averaging? Like, what, 18, 19, whatever it was? Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a very hard thing to
show up and be consistent, bro.
I don't think people understand that, right? It's never three guys that's superstars. It's only two.
Yep.
And then the other one's got to take that back seat, Chris Bosh. Right? It's like it's just how life is. It's just it's only 5 people on the court.
Right.
Right? 48 minutes. Right?
But everybody, I have this theory, and this is for parents. This is so funny, because at the end of AAU games and high school games, your parents talk. They always talk about the coach.
Always.
They're always talking about the coach. And,
Always.
And that their kids never got enough shots,
Oh,
right?
God.
Well, here's my theory. If I give your kid the ball and I said, shoot as many shots as you want the whole game, the first time he missed, the second time down, he's going to pass the ball. Because everybody's not built.
Everybody ain't built like that.
They don't have the capacity to get over the mistakes. So when I'm laughing at the parents, I'm like,
99.9% of people.
they don't have the capacity.
That's why you have a lot of us that are successful, and then the 8 billion out of 8 billion people, it's only a very, very 0.0000000, because they don't want to fail. So they'll give it to somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
Quick to judge, but don't want to fail.
Exactly. So then the parent theory goes out, because you can shut that down.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the kid had the mental capacity,
Mm-hmm.
you would see it. And they would thrive in it. And they wouldn't focus on the mistake. They already passed it.
Facts.
I call it next play speed.
Mm-hmm.
So I laugh at parents like, man, you only took 5. They talking to the kid like, bro, he's like, man, coach won't rock with me. No, bro, you just didn't. You ain't got it. Because the guy that got it, you ain't got to tell him.
You ain't got to tell him.
You don't have to tell him.
I'm going to go get it. If D-Wade, if Brian, y'all go shoot it, I'm going to go get the rebound. Y'all not making all of them.
No, sir.
And then when I get it, I'm haul-assing. If you get it on the rebound, I'm gone. It's just me and Steve used to compete. Who can get out the fastest? That's what we used to do.
That's crazy.
Who can get out the fastest? I'm trying to get, as soon as that rebound, he'll give it to me. I give it back to him. He give it to me because he know I got to throw the lob. Basketball's so easy. It's just so easy.
Yeah, but the mental fortitude that takes, because it's easy, but do you have the mindset?
Everybody don't.
Everybody don't.
Everybody don't.
And it's beauty in the struggle.
Mm-hmm. Beauty in the struggle.
Don't interrupt when your kid is failing.
We can't.
Let them fail. And then let them go through the process, debriefing of what it feels like.
Yeah.
And what choices they need to make.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me as a parent with my daughter or son, I'm not coaching in the car after games.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say nothing?
I don't say nothing. I did last night. I'm not saying nothing.
If you don't say nothing,
I'm not saying nothing.
And what is
You
done,
feel it?
You feel it.
You feel it.
And you need to feel it.
You need to.
You need to.
I'm not soothing your emotions at all.
No.
You feel that.
Then you got to get up and do it again.
That's you right.
And so I'll shout out to my son too. My son, he's got to the point throughout his senior year, when he need me, he communicates.
Mm-hmm.
Dad, how do I beat this? He clips his own film.
Mm-hmm.
He clips his own clips.
I love
They're
it.
doubling me. They did this, they did that against Crespi.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, they slow trapped me. He sent me 5 clips. Tell me how to beat it.
Mm.
I
like
watched
that.
the clips,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, the big is running too fast, too high.
Mm-hmm.
The reject is there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know you've been spending all year talking to him about using that right hand.
Yes.
He scored 43 points in that game.
Mm.
43 points in that game because he was looking for his own adjustment.
Yeah.
Not me,
Right.
but him.
Yes.
And so even when I could see things, I learned to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, he's not ready yet for the things that I need to give him. But when he asks, I have to be ready to give it.
Facts. You know, there's one phrase where that's the phrase of a blind man can't help you until it's dark. Mm. And that's we the blind men. Right? So he don't need you until he needs you.
That's good.
That's how life is.
That's
right?
good.
Sometimes you just got to sit back. Your ego just don't know. It's not your game. It's his game. Yep. Now, if you need my help, I'm going to tell you, because guess what? A 2-3, a 3-2, a 1-2-2, a 2-2-1, I've seen it all.
Yeah.
So you may think of something different, but this I can tell you this when you're ready. Other than that, I'm quiet. I'm chill. And I don't. You feel how you feel.
Mm. So if there was any advice that I want to look at this in a few ways. What would be your advice to parents of a student athlete that's middle school coming up? What would be your advice to a parent? How should they respond or act, or like what does it look like for them in this situation, in that seat as a parent?
Well, there's a few different things, right? Because one is they have to evaluate the self, right? And then what is your expectations, not only for your child but for yourself, right? So then, because you're dealing with a certain type of emotion within that you're projecting out, and then that child feels that, right? So if you're helping prepare your child in a good way, right? Repetition, even 18, 20 minutes a day, whether it's ball handling, whether it's form shooting. But then also, too, is when you put your child with a coach, trainer, whoever it is, you have to do your research, right? You can't put them with them and then talk about them, because now that child hears that, and that child uses those as excuses.
Yes.
Right? You have to understand, if you don't know anything about this world, get to somebody that knows it and then trust that decision, right? But when you start to waver, it's the room is too cluttered.
Right.
You got to clean that room up upstairs, because nothing's perfect, right? The game of basketball is flawed itself, but then you go to certain trainers, you go to certain coaches, and you want to be able to make it a good environment for not only the coach but the child.
Absolutely.
Right? So how are you emotionally as a parent?
Trust
you have
the
to ask
process.
yourself, trust it.
Trust the process. Don't forecast where you think they should be.
Right.
Versus where they are.
Exactly. Expectations.
Expectations.
Yeah.
So that's for the parents. And then for the young player that has that dream. You mentioned earlier about being selfish. I love it. I love it.
Yes, you have to.
That's one of my biggest things.
You have to.
I know people say, hey, man, I said, focus on you.
Yes. Be so selfish.
Because you don't know as a young kid how to really manage other kids' emotions, because you're learning.
Right.
Now, as an adult, I become more selfless because now I'm in tune with who I am, so I can help other people.
Right.
But in this journey, middle school, high school, be selfish.
Be selfish.
Let's talk about that.
Yes, I mean, everybody has their own opinion on how life is, right? But you have to live with you. And I always, my quote to end things with children or kids or young adults, whatever it is, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Right?
Say that.
Yeah, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Right? So it's always, if it was easier. No, if it was easier, you'd be weaker.
Absolutely.
Right? So just wish you were better. Being better, you become stronger. And whatever it is that you're doing in life, it doesn't have to be basketball.
It don't.
Right? It could be mowing lawns. It could be studying for math. It could science. It doesn't matter. Just wish you were better. And how do you become better? Dig in. You got to dig in. You got it. It's uncomfortable for a minute. It's the same thing the caterpillar, right? The caterpillar has anxieties until it becomes a butterfly, and the butterfly has anxieties, right? So it's a transition.
It's a transition.
It's a transition.
You have to feel the feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like feel the realness of what it's like to not be perfect.
Yes.
There's no one is perfect.
Yeah.
And there's no perfection to this. It's just the journey.
The journey is amazing. It's a beautiful struggle, man. You're put on earth to everything you do in life, right? From 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 if you're blessed. There's always something new happens. You can be a pro and then they tell you, you got to go to training camp the next year. It's still hard. It's still hard. It's not easy. It's still hard. But you just make hard look easy.
You just make hard look easy because some people can't get over themselves.
Yeah.
He's like, man, wait a minute, bro. I just was a starter last year.
Don't matter. You got to do it again.
And then this year, I'm fighting in training camp for my job.
Another thing, too, is people don't understand you have to repeat excellence.
Okay.
Or you just become a one-hit wonder. I got 20 on Monday. Okay. The game Wednesday. So you got to get 20. Again. And then there's another game Friday. You got to get 20 again. Right? You're going to be nice to a person on Monday, and then you see him on Wednesday, you're going to be mean? No, but my stepfather used to always say, Don't show me what you can do and then act like you can't do it.
Right.
Right? Don't act smart and play dumb.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Stay with it. Commit to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 20. Okay, guess what? It's gonna be some rough 20 games, but I'm on you.
I'm on it.
I'm working every single day to stay consistent in this. It's just simple.
Dang, that's why you're a tough matchup. That's why you're a tough matchup for those tough defenders out there, bro. You cause problems for them because you came into the game like that.
Yeah,
that's not a bully mentality. That's a vicious. That's a fighter's mentality.
Yeah, my son has that.
He has that fight.
Oh, he's a yes.
So you win everything else because basketball alone in a category to me is just skill.
Yeah, I'm creating a character.
You create the character.
Yeah, I'm creating a character. So whatever you do, there's a fight.
It's a fight.
You're fighting every day. Every day you wake up.
That's a fight.
As Chris, you gonna wake up every day. I'm
going.
Yeah,
let's go.
It's gonna be sowing, it's gonna be raining, it's gonna be this. This is gonna happen. Like I'm fighting. It's all good.
I love that. Well, this has been another great episode with Cuttino Mobley, NBA legend, superstar, mental mind coach, life coach. And Kat, I want them to be able to tap in with you because you always are given the information.
Mm-hmm.
And there's someone out there that wants to receive the information, and that's the person you want to connect with. Because information is not for everybody that is not willing to listen to it and apply it.
Right.
Where can they find you at?
Yeah, so it's CuttinoMobley.com. Find me on there. I'm on Instagram, Cuttino's Life, CuttinoSlife. And then on TikTok is Cuttino Mobley. So I'll actually start having some programs for people just to kind of help them mentally get through certain stuff, small everyday things, routines that you can do to get better in life. But I appreciate you, Coach.
I love that. And I would love to collab with you on that.
Let's do it.
I have 10 Minutes to Win out. I need to get that to you. 10 Minutes to Win. That. I wrote a whole 10-book ebook series.
I love it.
And it sells very well. $10 a book.
I love it.
And it's teaching you to attack something in 10 minutes.
I love it.
And it's a daily practice. I cut out all the fat. I got right to this is how I would do it.
Yes, I love it.
And it's helping people. I would love to collab with you on something that can help someone else become great and give them the ingredients. They don't have to read everywhere. Just follow this, apply this.
Give them the ingredients, yeah.
Go right to it, and then let's cook it up.
I love it.
If you guys haven't, make sure you turn on your post notifications, ring that bell because we're posting every week. And if you have comments or you have questions, drop them in the comments. We love you. We out. Just win. Unlock the mental power. Cuttino Mobley. Peace.